All right, today we're diving into something that is genuinely shaking things up. It's a new AI tool from Anthropic called Claude Cowork. But, this isn't just another product launch. It's a signal of a massive, massive shift in how we're all going to be working with computers. And the whole story kicks off with a few, frankly, shocking facts.
So for the last few years, AI has been this thing we talk to, right? We ask it questions, it gives us ideas, maybe drafts an email. But what we're talking about now is an AI that is basically broken out of that chat window. It's not just talking anymore, it's started working directly on our computers.
And here's where it gets kind of wild. This new tool, it wasn't meticulously crafted by a huge team of engineers over, months or years. Nope. Another AI wrote pretty much the entire thing in just 10 days. Think about that for a second.
The reaction to this news was, well, it was immediate and it was seismic. The very week this was announced, software and service stocks lost nearly $830 billion in market value. Wall Street even came up with a name for it, the SaaSpocalypse. Seriously.
So what on earth is this thing? How in the world was it built so fast? And why is it causing such an absolute panic in the market? Let's unpack the story of Claude Cowork, because it tells us so much about where the future of software is headed.
Okay, so the first thing you really need to get your head around is that Claude Cowork is a totally different kind of beast. We're making this leap from an AI that just gives you advice to an AI that actually acts on it. And this new category has a name, the AI agent.
An AI agent is not just a chatbot. It is, for all intents and purposes, a digital coworker. You can literally give it access to a folder, tell it what you want done, and it will figure out all the steps and just do them, all on its own, without you having to constantly supervise every little click.
And here's the difference in the real world. With the regular chatbot, a conversational AI, you might ask, hey, how should I organize my ridiculously messy downloads folder? And it'll give you a fantastic step-by-step plan. But with an operational AI like Cowork, you just say, organize my downloads folder, and it just does it. Regular Claude shows you how, Cowork gets it done.
So what does getting it done actually look like in practice? Let's move past the theory and look at some real, concrete examples of what this new digital coworker is capable of. So back to that messy downloads folder we all have. You give Cowork access and it just goes to town. It scans everything, and it finds duplicates using file hashes, which are like unique digital fingerprints, so it's not just looking at file names. Then it creates a totally logical folder structure, moves every single file where it belongs, and this is the cool part. It even renames those generic files like img_7818 to something actually useful like landslideafterdocument.png because it can literally look at the picture and understand what's in it. And it's not just about cleaning up files. Imagine this. Calbro can take a folder full of your scattered, messy meeting notes and draft a formal report. It can look at a bunch of screenshots of receipts and just turn them into a perfectly organized expense spreadsheet. It can convert and compress hundreds of files at once. You know that annoying task that used to mean juggling 3 different websites and a bunch of ads? This is all about automating those tedious, multi-step digital chores that we all hate.
Now, what's really fascinating about this whole thing is how it came to be. It wasn't part of some big top-down corporate strategy. It actually happened because Anthropic noticed its users were basically hacking one of their other tools for things it was never ever designed for.
The timeline here is just staggering. After seeing what users were doing, the team spent about 2 days just defining what the product should be. And then for the next 8 days, they had Claude Code, their AI for developers, write the entire Cowork application. It went from a rough idea to a working research preview in 10 days, and AI built the next generation of AI tools. This quote really gets to the heart of their whole strategy. It wasn't this, if you build it, they will come kind of thing. It was them looking at their users and realizing, wait a minute, people are already trying to do this stuff. It's just really hard. Let's just build a tool that makes it easy. The demand was already there, plain as day.
And just look at what people were doing with a command line tool that was meant for programmers. They were planning vacations, analyzing genome data, recovering wedding photos from a corrupted hard drive, and, get this, even operating smart ovens. The power was there, but it was hidden behind this really technical barrier. All Cowork did was tear down that barrier.
Of course, tools like Cowork aren't just popping up in a vacuum. This is all happening as part of a much bigger, high-stakes race among all the tech giants to build the enterprise AI assistants that are going to define the future of how we work. I mean, all the major players have a horse in this race.
You've got Microsoft Copilot, which is baked deep into Office. You have Google Gemini, totally integrated into Workspace. OpenAI's ChatGPT Enterprise is like a powerful all-purpose workbench. And then you've had Claude, which has always been known as the specialist for really complex thinking and super long documents.
But what's happening now is we're seeing two very different philosophies emerge. On one hand, you have OpenAI's new platform Frontier. Think of it as an enterprise orchestrator. It's a big top-down system for a company to manage a whole fleet of AI agents. Anthropic's Claude Cowork is the complete opposite. It's a digital colleague. It's bottom-up, designed to empower an individual person on their own projects. So one is like a central command center, and the other is like a specialized consultant you can hire for a task.
And this exact clash of ideas, this uncertainty over which model is going to win out, that brings us right back to the money. Because the arrival of these powerful agents didn't just create some healthy competition, it created total chaos in the market, threatening the entire software-as-a-service industry as we know it.
So yeah, let's just come back to this number, $830 billion. That is the value that just evaporated in a single week. This wasn't just a little dip. This was a signal of deep, genuine panic that the fundamental business model of software itself was at risk.
And you can see how it hit specific companies. DocuSign, right? They handle electronic signatures. Their stock dropped 11%. Why? Well, because an AI agent can now read, analyze, and manage contracts all by itself. Thomson Reuters, a giant in legal and data services, fell 15%. Gartner, a big research firm, fell 21%. The market is basically betting that these new AI agents will just do the work that these expensive, specialized tools used to help humans do.
The big fear here is all about that per-seat licensing model. For decades, software companies have made money by charging, say, $150 a month for every single user. But what happens when one AI agent can do the work of 10 junior legal assistants? A company that used to need 100 software licenses might suddenly only need 10. That's the existential threat that has the whole SaaS world terrified. But it also creates a massive opportunity for new companies built not on selling seats, but on delivering results.
So what does all this actually mean for us, for the way we work? The shift is profound. It looks like the role of a knowledge worker is fundamentally changing, from being the person who does the task to being the person who supervises the AI that's doing the task.
We're moving away from a world where AI is just a cool feature inside an app to a world where AI is the underlying infrastructure. It's like the new operating system. And this is leading to a new model that analysts are calling outcome-based computing. The idea is you don't pay for access to the tool anymore. You just pay for the finished result.
And this brings us to the final, really big question that's just kind of hanging in the air. The story of Cowork is the story of an AI building its own successor in just 10 days. And as this loop of self-improvement gets faster and faster, it forces us to ask a pretty tough question. As we start handing over not just the work, but the very creation of the tools themselves, who is ultimately steering the ship?